So this week's video is our trip going to Arkansas. It's the second part because last week we showed the rafting. And this week we're gonna tell you guys a story. This story might not be that amusing for some people. Like, if you don't know each kid's personality and like Shay's personality and my personality, this might be a video you just want to skip, because it's not gonna be like action-packed or anything. This is pretty much us telling a story about Spider Cave. And so the video is gonna be pretty choppy. The rafting and the cave trip, they happened last May. And then the kids tell the story last June. In the summer, we were on a trip and they tell the story while we're in our camper. So the kids have grown a lot since then. It's crazy to see how much they've changed, like a ton. Voices have changed, even the way they talk has changed, and even some of like their mannerisms. It's weird. Some of the things that just change as they get older. It's weird what a year can do. I almost made them retell the stories, but whenever I went back, they were just so cute, and I wanted to just go ahead and do it like it was. It's real life. It's how it really happened.
We got some really good friends of ours took us on a trip to Arkansas. We went river rafting.
He used to be a river guide, correct?
Uh-huh.
Like a professional.
Oh, yeah.
And he had all the equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Which let us get to go for nothing, literally.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And had our own personal private guide.
We can't thank them enough for it.
Oh, man. The next day we went and we did a bunch of hiking and walking, and they have got beautiful trails in Arkansas that lead to waterfalls and more waterfalls. There's some caves and stuff.
Because he's done that stuff before too, right?
Yeah.
He's done just about everything.
He's done a lot of caving.
And so has his wife.
You name it. Anything high adventure, they have done it.
Alright, Petra, tell me the story of Spider Cave.
Okay.
Well, worst day of my life.
So we were driving to go to a cave.
Breathtaking views and...
I had no idea that Arkansas was that pretty.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We went on a hike with our friend who was taking us on a rafting trip. We were going to go check out this cave with a huge waterfall.
And we were walking there.
On the way there, we went through this cave.
We were looking for a specific cave, and we went in the mouth of like a cave, and it was open on the backside, so you went up, you climbed up.
Whenever we went in, there was a big hill part.
We were walking up it. Everybody thought it was the right cave.
We were walking into the cave.
It looked like this big, wide,
Yeah, there was a
amazing
waterfall coming out of
cave.
it. And it
Yeah,
was
so
beautiful.
it looked like we were in the right place.
And so we walk up it and climb up and get through it, and at the back of the cave there's an opening, and it's opened on the back side. Yeah, we're walking up and we see a spot, and you can tell there'd been a lot of traffic right there, and
Like
it
people
was
had even
an
carved
entrance. Yeah, there was an entrance into
the
a
rock.
cave right there. We get in there and take off, and it's hands and knees crawling.
Here's the thing. My grandma has said before that if it wasn't for Shay, I would not let our kids do anything, because I'm so scared of anybody getting hurt that I'll like shut stuff down all the time, and then Shay will be like, you gotta calm down, you gotta let them live, and I'm always like terrified something's gonna happen. So I try to calm myself down and not be the party pooper. And whenever we went into this, at first I was like, it's okay, we can do this, everything's fine. You went in first.
Yeah, I went in.
Because Shay wanted to make sure no matter where we went,
And then
he's
everybody
checking.
was behind the kids.
But you were checking. You went in first, and then the kids went, so that the two guys
We're in the front.
in the front and back of the children, because I wanted to make sure, and y'all wanted to make sure, that it was safe ahead and behind them. I just want it to be very aware we were making sure it was a safe situation for our kids.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I'm anxious about so much. So like the rafting was anxiety for me. Everything, just because I'm hyper aware of the things that could go wrong. So if it was up to me, like I'd put them in bubble wrap. Is it not true? And like let them sit at the table and we'll play with Play-Doh or something for the rest of their lives. Okay, you may continue now.
Anyway, so we crawl in there and
when we first went in, we saw one little spider on the ceiling.
One visible spider, like little cave spider over on the side. Nothing else that we could see. Nothing I could see. I don't know if you had seen them and didn't mention it to me.
I seen the one at the very beginning, but
That's right,
I was
yeah.
not going to say anything about it.
I saw it. Only that one though.
There was a big brown recluse right at the wall.
And a bunch of crickets.
Bunch of cave crickets.
We went in, and at the start, I was okay.
Dad was like, it's just one spider. I was climbing and my brothers were climbing.
And then we got deeper in, and deeper in, and then deeper in.
There's different spots, like you can't, it's tight enough you can't turn around to go back the other way.
Unless you get to openings.
And
there's
every
openings.
once in a while, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's places that you could get and it would open up a little bit and you could get turned around. We're going through the cave and everybody's got their own headlamps on because it's pitch black.
And you can't hear me very good. Because
the
it's
water
like,
running is noisy.
well, and not only that, it's you, Ezra, Joel, Luke, Petra, then me. So you can't hear me.
No.
And then we went farther into the cave.
About a few feet in.
And then, after that,
There was a waterfall in there that we were getting close to because I could hear it getting louder and louder and louder the closer we got to it. I turned around and I told and the kids, I was like, y'all just stay right here and I'm going to go ahead and scoot under the shelf and get to the other side and I'll see if it's there and if it's not.
And you
we'll
wanted to
just
make
jet.
sure it was safe for the kids. Like,
Yeah, well,
so
I
that
didn't
they
want.
did not
I
go.
didn't want the kids. I was gonna just go see if I might be able to go get a picture of it, or something like that. I had to build up courage to scoot under the shelf.
At this exact moment, this is happening. I'm unaware you went ahead. I'm completely unaware. While that was happening, I am behind. I'm crawling, and at first I'm just like, okay, it's getting a little more narrow. It's getting a little more narrow, and I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. Before I saw the spider, I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. And then I look and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm kind of joking, so he turns around, he makes eye contact with me. I think he's checking to see if I'm serious. And I'm like smiling still, and so he chuckles, and then I chuckle. I think I said, I don't know if I can do this twice. And like, we're both kind of laughing. I see that spider.
I started seeing a bunch of
spiders on the roof everywhere.
Then I kept seeing more and more. The entire tunnel covered.
A bunch of spiders.
Every foot you'd see one or two.
Scary.
I look up, and it's not that I'm claustrophobic, but while I'm crawling, I'm on my hands and knees at this point, and my head is touching the top. I look up, and I see a spider directly above my head. And something about that and what I've said is claustrophobia married my arachnophobia. I am terrified of spiders. And all of a sudden it's like I had a legit full-blown anxiety attack. And I'm like, I can't do this. And he turns around and we make eye contact and he knows I'm serious as a heart attack. Like, I can't breathe all of a sudden. I am like, I have to get out of here. I'm going to pass out. Like, I can feel it. I'm like, they're going to have to drag me out. That we come up to this spot where it gets really wide, so like everybody can kind of fit. And he's like, calm down. And I turn around and I realize it still gives me like EBGBs up my neck. I realize we have walked through spiders.
Crawled.
We have crawled through spiders. Lots of spiders. Not a little bit of spiders, not kind of spiders, bukus and bukus of spiders. I don't know how I did not see them before. I guess because we're walking looking down, or crawling looking down. But once I realized that, I'm like, I can't do this.
And then Mom
was like, I can't do this.
like, I can't do this, I can't do this.
His wife comes up and she looks at me and she kind of like takes mama bear moment and she is like, Lucinda, look at me, breathe, it's gonna be okay. And she's like, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? And I'm like, I want you to go first because I wanted to just have somebody to follow. I'm unaware at this point that he's gonna follow me out too. I think he was very concerned about me. So I say all of that to say this is happening at the exact same time. Shay is ahead and I'm unaware he's ahead. So even though I would never leave the kids like this ever, it's super out of character for me. I've never had a moment like that, but it was like legit. Either I had to get out of there or they were going to have to drag me out of there. So I don't realize Shay is completely unaware of what's going on. And I assumed that our friend would stay with the kids, but I think he was more concerned about me at this point. So he follows me out, but I don't even know that until I get out. Like, I don't even know that until I have exited the cave. I made it out a lot faster than I made it in. Like, I was boogieing.
But you were crawling really fast.
So I'll let you tell some of yours now and then I'll continue with my side of it. But I just wanted that to be known. This is happening at the exact same time that yours is happening. Were you scared or were you brave?
I wasn't scared, but you were scared.
I heard, like, nope, I'm not doing it.
She panicked
So she went out.
and she left us, deserted us completely in the cave.
Molly was going really fast.
And then they crawled out.
While Dad was still farther in.
I get to the other side, and then the cave goes from being wider this away to it's vertical, and it's so narrow. I had to, yeah, it's real narrow. And so as I scoot out the other side, I had to start turning and get my shoulders with the way the cave starts going like this. And so I scoot through there and I get sideways and I get stood up and I'm against each side on my stomach and on my chest, and there are spiders everywhere. And so I'm like, okay, it's gonna be all right, because I can tell I've got to be like 50 foot from waterfall. I can hear it.
Dad was trying to go through a really tight thing.
Dad actually went in it, but I couldn't even been there.
I can get a little claustrophobic. I'm not bad claustrophobic, but that was a little much. I could have dropped down and kept scooting. I could have made it in and seen where the waterfall was at, but it was really a pain and it was going to take me a minute, and I was already having to talk myself into squeezing through there anyway because of how tight it was. I get crouched back down and get myself wormed back through the hole and go back to the other side.
And there's no way we would have ever took our kids there.
Oh no, heck
never.
No.
And then I left and my brothers were screaming. I followed you.
You followed me?
Yeah.
So did you leave without your brothers?
Yes.
Petra saw our friend leave.
And she jetted.
And she's like, bye. And I'm so proud of her because she was just like, okay, those three are leaving. I'm not staying. I'm just really proud of her that she made that call because I was in no right mind. I get out and our friend's wife, who's also our friend, I just am trying to make sure we see the girl and guy in it because we're trying not to use their names. She is like, turn around. Let me see and check and make sure there's no spiders in your clothes. She knew. She knew. Like, I did not even have to explain what was going on. She just knew. Did I reciprocate that and make sure she did not have spiders in her clothes? Not at all. Because I was so me focused in that moment. It was like everything else shut down. And I literally had to like sit and breathe for a little bit because I'm just like, oh my gosh. But whenever she gets done checking and I turn around, I realize here he comes, he's out of there, and here comes little Miss Petra following him like nothing happened.
And my brothers were back there screaming, and I didn't even hear them. Well, a little bit.
And you had no idea this was
I
happening.
think the boys think they're ride or die.
I agree with that.
And
she was like,
then
peace
it
out.
got like really scary for
Yeah,
them
for
all of
them.
a sudden. 'Cause
Even though
there was
they were at was perfectly safe.
Oh yeah, they were in the biggest spot.
It
but
was
I
a
come
big
back,
huge
and
area.
the two little ones are crying and staring at one spider
And screaming.
on the ceiling.
How big
and
was that
screaming.
spider? Because
Oh,
according
it's
to
like-
Luke, it was
like-
this big.
My brothers were screaming because there was a big spider.
And then there was one gigantic spider. I was just looking at it. I was like,
There was a ginormous brown goose again. It was like that big. It was as big as my nose and my chin. And there was a giant, gigantic big spider.
it was not that.
Yes,
big.
it was. No, it wasn't. It was about this big. You can see the movement. Yeah, maybe this.
How big was the biggest spider, Petra?
How big?
The entire spider. All of it.
I know how to make a puppet wolf.
It's about that big.
So-
It's this big to Luke, and it's a brown recluse.
Yeah.
Every spider. There's
a brown
recluse.
It's a brown recluse. Hey,
And then
there was a brown recluse. They're all
staring at
dramatic.
this one spider. And they're all
Petra,
like,
on the
lean
other
back.
hand, this is her favorite thing we've ever done, is caving. Like, she would go explore caves for the rest of her life, which is shocking to me.
Because she's scared of a lot of stuff.
Well, Petra has sensory processing disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was concerned, you take the darkness with the noises, which she brings up, she mentions, and just the overload
Overload of what? Most people would be like
it'd be sensory overload, big
Mm-hmm.
time. And she will tell you still, like, are we gonna go see caves? Like, something about it, I feel like did the opposite to her, and she just
Stimulating.
like chilled. So then you come back though, and they're there with the giant spider that's actually
they
this
are
big.
all staring at the spider. Ezra, I don't even know that he was looking at the spider. He is screaming.
And then I was crying. Luke was in the middle of that. And then Ezra was just yelling and yelling and yelling and yelling. And then Dad comes back because we were screaming for him, and he's not happy.
And then we were going on our way back, and me and Jill were crying, and Ezra was so mad at us.
And he was very mad. He even got mad at Dad. He was not happy. And all panicked. I was screaming random things, and my two little brothers were crying.
He felt
He
like
absolutely lost it because he was yelling randomness.
I think he felt
Just
like he
scream.
did not know what to do. I think like he didn't know if they should have walked out or if they needed, like you said, ride or die, and they needed to wait on you.
He had such overload. He wasn't even saying anything that made sense. He's just screaming and screaming all kinds of stuff. He's saying stuff
Words.
that had nothing to do with what's going on. Just screaming it at the top of his lungs. And I'm like, shh, knock it off. Y'all calm down. Y'all calm down.
Dad said, shh. Why are y'all yelling? Mom left. Why did they?
And you're unaware where we're at. Like, you don't even know we left
No.
till that moment.
Yeah, and that's the first news I knew that they had turned around and left. And I'm like, y'all have got to calm down because they're in front of me. I'm like, I've got to get them to move so we can go out.
It was horrible.
And then Dad put his head right above it, and I was like, there's a spider right above your head.
So he blocks the spider, and we go past him, and we finally get out.
So they finally all stop and they get all collected in because Dad's back, and so they all start crawling back out of the cave, and we wind up all reunited outside. And
we stopped some other people from making the exact same mistake. So this is not we made like this decision that other people don't make. There's another group of people that were outside of this cave about to go in, and we're like, this is not the right cave. Do not go in there. They need a sign there. They do.
But then everybody wouldn't have as awesome an experience as we did.
I don't care.
Worst day of my life.
Who was the most scared?
Yo, me.
I
I was literally crying as fire.
It was falling.
Who was the maddest?
Me. No, Ezra.
Well, the kids come back out, and they all think it's stinking hilarious because we were taught by our friend that how does he call it? Whenever you need to pee.
Oh, dilution is the solution.
And so the kids, instead of, because there's like nowhere to go to the bathroom there, period.
They got in the river and peed.
And just peed with their clothes
That
on.
part's
We went out of the cave, and me and Joe got out and had to do business in the water. And I needed to pee, so we all went into the water and peed.
That was the same river that the 60-foot waterfall
Really?
came to.
Okay.
The same water.
But it's really slow right there because it has
oh
these
yeah,
rocks.
it's a big pool. Yeah.
And so it was like not moving or anything, but I mean it's moving, but not like rushing. We've got really cool pictures of that, of them in there, and you can see Ezra's face, and he is like so angry in the pictures still. Like he's just got this like scowl in his eyebrows. He was so mad. So they come out though and they talk about it, and it's pretty cute. Petra and Luke are the only ones who mention the peeing in the water. I don't know if Ezra actually peed in the water or not. I don't know if Ezra would admit it if he did. We laughed because Ezra in his story tells about getting in the water and washing off because there was like dirt on our hands from crawling in there.
Our hands were nasty, really, really, really nasty.
Well, then we got in the water and washed off.
And then Shay pointed out that
They washed their hands in the same pool of water that everybody peed in.
yeah, we didn't drink it. Then what did we do after we went to Spider Cave?
There was a really good part. We got to go on the rest of the hike.
And walked. All climbing up the mountain, and
We go on heading to the real cave, and it is like you walked into Jumanji. It is thick woods, tall, thick, heavy woods.
And they made like steps out of stones and
Oh, yeah.
logs, and it's just really pretty.
It's
It's
beautiful.
really pretty.
And it's really mountainous, but water everywhere, waterfalls everywhere. And we take off and we're climbing, and we finally get up to where the mouth of the cave is. And there's water shoots out of the cave. Like, it's so cool. It's a big waterfall, and it's about probably 200-foot drop off at the top where you go around the corner into the cave, and it's just a walking path. So that part of the whole thing was more nerve-wracking for me than anything else, because if you fall off, you're done.
Shay's like really protective of our kids, but he's not high anxiety like ever. You're very chill and protective. Like, he pays attention and watches, but at the same time he's just relaxed. And I've never seen you that high level of anxiety about our kids doing anything. Like, you're walking them individually, you're blocking them.
And Dad said, "Don't fall off." He was telling me. He didn't stop.
Oh
From
yeah, it's
being
that
able,
part was pretty high stress. That was way worse than the spider cave.
For you.
The spider cave was not a big. You're not going to die. If you stub your toe
felt
and
like
fall
I was
off
going
of
to
that,
die.
you're not gonna make it. Like it's.
We get them past that.
And we get inside the cave.
And it's giant.
Oh yeah.
Like,
it's really
giant.
really big.
Because I was not sure if I could do it at first. Like going to another cave after the experience I just had. I told Shay, I was like, we're just gonna have to see. Like, we'll just see whenever we get there. I don't know if I can do it. Let's just find out after we get there. Because I'm like, I cannot experience what we just experienced ever again. And there's like people coming out. Like mamas had their babies in the little kangaroo pouches. And there's like people there with like their 2 and 3 year olds. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
Yeah, this was easy cave. It was like 4 feet by 20 feet.
The correct cave.
Yeah, the right cave. Dad chose the wrong cave, of course.
And we asked the guy if that cave had any spiders. And we went there, and it was seriously the right cave.
But Shay even asks the guy, like, this is the right one. There's a waterfall back there. And then we're all asking, is there spiders in there? Because I'm like, no, thank you.
Got into the huge cave. No spiders, thank goodness. Not even a single one.
We got to the cave and there wasn't one spider. Not one.
But there were no spiders.
None.
Nothing else.
Not a single spider, like, in the entire cave. And this sucker was big.
Not even crickets.
There were crickets.
There were only like 3 crickets.
You weren't scared of any of them, were you?
Besides that other one, I thought my hair was a spider.
Oh, I forgot about that. You can tell that part, too. But we're not there yet.
And we went farther into the cave.
It was a big cave, and when we got back to the back, there was a place where you could stay on your hands and your feet and get through. It got a little bit narrow for 25 foot or so. It was, or not narrow, but just short.
Low, yeah. But not bad.
Mm-mm.
How did you get your butt dirty?
And we got in there, and the room was huge.
We had our lights on our heads and we looked around.
And a huge waterfall.
Big, 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 big. How many feet again?
It's over like 60 feet.
Up. And it was so loud. A big waterfall that was loud. We had to scream to talk.
Like, it was crazy. I didn't know there could be waterfalls in caves.
I liked it.
Was it fun?
Yes.
And we got back in the back, and it was beautiful. There was a 60-foot waterfall back there, and it was amazing. It was super, super cool.
It was really cool. And
There's
that's
mist everywhere. It was super neat.
It was beautiful.
while we're in there, we decided to turn off our flashlights. And so Petra, like, the first cave, she was never scared. Not a single time. Like, she was just like, chill, it's like, whatever. And we turned off the lights. It was pitch black dark for just a second.
It was so dark. It was so dark.
How dark?
Like ever it's nighttime.
Whenever we turned them back on, she had a little wisp of hair that had come up across here, and she could see it in her vision, and she thought it was a spider, and she screamed. It scared me so bad. Like, I was like, what? Because she is just like screaming, like bloody murder screaming.
And tried to rip the hair out of her head.
And so when we realize what's happening, we start laughing, and it's not funny to her. When you turned your light back on, what did your hair do that scared you?
Like, I thought it was a spider, like, it was big.
What did you do whenever it scared you?
You're not nice.
I'm not nice. What happened when it scared you?
Scared. Me? You're not funny.
You're funny.
I am not funny. You are.
And I get it, because like I said, it's not funny what happened to me at the spider cave. However, we couldn't help it. And so she'll still, whenever she's telling the story, it's pretty cute.
I don't know what we're doing next.
We're gonna keep going.
You okay?
Hey, we'll have time to
We get done in there, and then we come back out, and we go back down past the scary spot that you don't like, and we're hiking back, and the two kids that mention this, it's just cute because they mention this, is Joel and Petra.
They're the food kids.
They're our food children. Yeah, they need
Constant food.
Yeah. So they both mention how we stop and we eat a snack on our way back.
Then we had a little break and ate something. And then
we ate cereal.
We ate cereal on the
And
trail.
tiny V-sticks. I hate the big ones. Ugh, I love the tiny ones.
So it's just really cute because that was important to them, enough to include it in their stories. Their details definitely show the parts that are important to them.
So if you could go back, would you want to do it again?
No.
Yes.
You would?
Yes. I would do Spider Cave for a second and then leave.
Okay.
Are you happy to have the story now that it's over?
Sort of.
Yeah,
But you still wouldn't do it again? I don't blame you. So you wouldn't change it?
but never. You didn't even make it in.
It was a fun experience. What did you call it?
Oh, it was an accidental adventure.
Accidental adventure. So I don't know if that's exactly what I would call it, but now that it's over, if I could go back, I would not do it again. But
It was a memory you will never forget.
I will never forget it. So now that I have the story, that's awesome. I will enjoy the story.
That is what
but,
you call an adventure.
well,
A
it's an
legit-
accidental,
a legit.
and that part was an accidental, unwanted adventure.
That was pretty good.
Was it? Okay.
Wasn't it an adventure?
A horrible one.
What was your favorite part of the whole day?
It was all really fun besides Spider Cave.
Spider Cave.
Spider cave.
Probably going in the fun part.
Seeing the waterfall was probably the coolest part of the day.
Almost none of it. Fly! It just crawled right here. Yeah. Where is it?
Don't think though that the waterfall was cool?
That's the only cave that I thought.
What about your inchworm?
Oh, the inchworm, like, whenever we were going back to the car, he would go, ooh, ooh.
The kids find a little inchworm that was on our friend.
It was
It was on his,
quarter inch worm. It was a little bit. It was the littlest inch
That's
worm
what-
I've ever seen.
Luke calls it a quarter worm.
Quarter worm.
And so, they played with it for a little bit. It took Petra a little bit. She did hold it.
And then she slammed
It
him
took-
into the ground.
she did
it-
hold it though.
Creeped her out all of a sudden.
All of a
and
sudden she's
decided
like, I
that
can't.
It was too much.
Joel is the one that would take those things home and keep them forever because he might be like his dad.
It was a tiny worm. Like,
Was it cute?
Yes. But it wasn't even an inch. A quarter worm. It was like a quarter worm.
One thing that's really cute in the video that you'll see every single kid bring up is rafting. Whenever like you're like, what was your favorite part or this or that? Rafting. I'm like, that's not what we're talking about today. I mean, what was your favorite part of this day? And so it's just really cute to see that that was such a good experience for them.
And then we were on that trip and we went rafting. That's not the same day. We'll talk about rafting a different day. Oh, that's the rafting. We're not talking about rafting today. We're just talking about the caves.
Okay.
Nope, that's a different video. You can tell that story later.
favorite part of the day?
The rafting in the kayak. Oh, the day?
Can we do the boat part 2?
Not today.
Okay.
And so, I think that's it. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I think that's done. That's all of the cave day.
Thank you.
Alright.
Then we went back to camp, and the next morning we loaded everything up and went home. So, it was a very unforgettable, amazing
Oh,
trip.
yeah.
So,
We love y'all. Bye.
love you, bye. Thank you for watching.
And don't forget to stay limitless.